Hello there, and welcome to the Potent Puffin Podcast. And I'm your host, Jake Thomas. And sitting here beside me is Kita, the Elk Hound. Now, Kita got a few days of having the house to herself this week, with just my mother-in-law checking in on her every now and then, because we just got back today from Anchorage from picking up the new truck that I talked about last week. And that's been a lot of fun. It's been a very exciting adventure for us. We got to do something we've always talked about in going to Anchorage and driving down to Homer and taking the ferry back. Something me and Brandy have talked about doing for a long time and never had the opportunity to do. And so that was a lot of fun. Callison enjoyed it. We got to go do some of his favorite things in Anchorage. We got to go eat at Gwinny's and IHOP and Texas Roadhouse. We got to go to Target. He was very excited for Target. I also took Callison to Best Buy. And the Best Buy thing was kind of cool because Saturday was Brandy's birthday. And we got to Anchorage on Thursday. And I was wanting to get her a MacBook Pro for her birthday because she's really been wanting one since hers quit working very well. And I was trying to figure out how I was going to get break away, so I could try and go get one without her knowing. And we went to a different Target than we usually do, and there was a Best Buy right next to it in the shopping center. And I was like, oh hey, I didn't realize there was a Best Buy by this Target. And she's like, oh yeah, why don't you take Callison over there so I can shop in Target by myself for a little bit. I was like, that's a great idea. And so me and Callison went and looked at the MacBooks there, and I was able to find a MacBook Air that she was wanting in rose gold, which that way it matches her iPad. And so I was able to get that without her knowing. And then I was able to hide it under the back seat the whole time. And then when we finally got back on Saturday, it was busy because she had to go to volunteer for the Special Olympics Torch Run fundraiser that she was volunteering for. And she was already a little bit late for it. And I was like, hey, let's go ahead and at least get the stuff inside the truck unloaded. We can get the stuff in the back later. She's like, okay, we'll do that real fast. And we unload it, and she's like, all right, that's all. I was like, that's not all of it. That's not all of it. There's still stuff under the seat to get. And she's like, no, there's not. And then I handed her the MacBook, and she watched me pull it out from under the seat, and she had no idea it was under there. And I thought she knew because after we put it in there and we met with her at Target, me and Callison then left Target early to go to PetSmart so we could start looking at collars and toys for Copper and for stuff to bring Kita back. And Brandy went to the truck to put away all the stuff she got at Target. So I thought that she was going to see it then, but I guess she didn't. She was too... either I hit it really good, or she just was so focused on the stuff from Target that she didn't notice it. And so that was really cool. I was glad I was able to surprise her like that on her birthday, and that Callison didn't tell her before we got back. So that was really cool. And then, so we went to Cabela's because Callison loves going there. He likes Bass Pro and Cabela's, but he likes going to the Cabela's in Anchorage more just because of the way their fish display is set up, because it's set up like a little cave, and he likes to go into the cave. But while we were there, I was able to get a shotgun that I've been wanting for quite some time now, the Browning A5 Sweet 16. I've been wanting a 16 gauge shotgun for a while, and when Browning brought back the Sweet 16 a few years ago, I was like, oh man, I really want this gun. I want the shotgun because it's a 16 gauge. I don't have one. It's a auto loading shotgun. I don't have one of those either. And so I was really excited. They had one. And so I was able to get it. And I'm excited to have that. And then we also had a chance to get us each new wedding bands because one, I lost my wedding bands. I've gone through two. I've lost two already. So hopefully this third one will be the right one, and I'll hang on to it for a while. But mine has to be ordered because they don't carry my size in the stores. But then Brandy, they had her size in the store, so she was able to walk out with it. She's really excited. Um, I've been wanting to get her a new ring for a while, anyways. Because I told her I would get her a new one at the 5th year anniversary, and that ended up not happening. And it kind of got pushed. I was like, well, maybe at the 10th. But the opportunity came up to get her one now and have it at her birthday. So it works out. And it's really cool. She's happy about it. And we both got new rings. So that's exciting. And then leaving Anchorage, we realized, there's several local breweries between Anchorage and Homer, so we kind of made like a little mini like brewery tour, like brewery trail on the way. So first we stopped off at Garwood at the Garwood Brewing Company, which is a cool little spot. Girdwood's a cool town. It's a little like ski resort kind of town, and the brewery there, they really buy into that like ski resort feel. And it's a really small place, but it's really cool. Everyone there was awesome. I had their Funkberry Pie. It's a sour beer, and it reminded me a lot of a beer me and my brother used to drink at Rebel Kettle in Little Rock called Rob Gnarly. They had very similar taste, and so I thought it was really cool because the Rob Gnarly doesn't get made anymore since Rebel Kettle became, I think, like 6th Street Brewery or something. They got sold out, and so that beer doesn't get made anymore. But I found this beer that tastes pretty similar, and actually in my mind was a little bit better. And I thought that was really fun. That was really cool. The first beer I have on our little beer trail was one that reminds me of back home. And then from there we went to where was it? Cooper Landing Brewing and Cooper Landing. And that one was really cool. They had like this big sand pit for kids to play in, so Calson thought that was cool. And they have a Bigfoot cutout walking away with the beer outside the door. And Calson saw Bigfoot because he's still really big into Bigfoot. And so he had to stop and hang out with the Bigfoot there. And then there I tried their red ale. I don't remember what they called it, but it was just a red ale. It was pretty good, and the proceeds to it go to benefit local emergency services. So I thought that was really neat that they're doing that. And then I got some cans to go of a different beer they had that sounded good, but we just, trying to keep on schedule because we got to get to Homer before the ferry leaves. So I got some cans to bring back, and I got a growler from Girdwood to bring back too. And then the next stop was at St. Elias Brewing in Soldotna. They had a long wait to get in because they also do pizza there. And so there was a long wait, and we didn't want to risk spending too much time there. And so I just got a crowler to go of their pale ale. And I'm excited to try that on my next days off. And then from there, we just went down the street to another brewery in Soldotna, the Kenai River Brewing, which I've had a few of their beers before because their cans do make it to Kodiak. But again, I think part of it was just because it was that we got there, it was like 6:30 or so it was really just like that after work crowd packing in. And so it was really crowded, and I was like, no, let's not do that. So we left. I didn't get anything to go from there just because I know their cans are already here in Kodiak, and so it wasn't like I was missing out on something I can't get here. And then we went and we got Pizza Hut and got some pizza to go, and we got some. We're able to bring a full pizza back to Kodiak, so that's nice to get some of that like outside food back here. We got kind of bummed because we realized we forgot to get donuts while we were in Anchorage, but it's not that big of a deal. We'll always have more chances to go to Anchorage for donuts. And then we wanted to go to the Homer Brewing Company as well, but we didn't get into Homer until a little after 8, and they close at 7. That's just kind of like an Alaskan thing. A lot of the breweries, I think it's a law. They have to close by like 7 or 8, I forget. But like a lot of the smaller breweries, they have a lot more regulations than regular bars do, and I think it kind of sucks, but it is what it is. But we got to enjoy at least 3 good breweries on that little trip. But yeah, I think it's pretty cool because they're all spaced out real good, so you can go to one, have a drink, drive to the next, and it's about an hour between them. And so nice little stops, and they're all in towns that like if you're doing that drive and you haven't before, they're cool places to stop anyways. And yeah, so that was really cool. And by the time we got to Soldotna, we realized we hadn't seen any moose on the trip at all, which is really weird. And then, like 10 minutes after we talked about how we hadn't seen any moose, we ended up seeing like 10 moose in the next like 5 minutes after that. So that was cool. Like we were going to be really bummed if we didn't see any moose because Carlson was wanting to see a moose. But we ended up getting to see the moose, and Carlson was happy. He saw all the moose, and yeah, and it was really cool driving by the Kenai River because that water was just so blue right now, and it was just very pretty. Like I was glad we were able to see that, and it was a really good, fun little mini road trip we got to do, and Calson had a lot of fun. And then we got onto the ferry, and Calson thought that was cool because they got like the big lift that brings their vehicles to the lower decks where they tie them down, and then you ride it back up. Calson thought it was cool. He was calling it the car elevator, and he was excited. We got to go on the boat. He's never been underway on a big boat like that before, so it was really cool for him. But it was lucky we did it at night, and so we were able to just kind of sleep most of the way. And then we got up this morning, and we're still trucking along, hadn't quite made it back, but Calson kind of just sat in like the porthole and looked out the window and watched it. It was really fun getting to watch him do that. First time I've really been underway since I was in the Coast Guard, so it's kind of nice for me just sit there and just like watch the water again. And yeah, that was interesting. And it was a good trip, and it was a good time. We're glad to be back. I gotta go right back to work tonight. It's a beautiful day outside. Like I wish I could just be kind of day drinking with some of that good beer I brought back, but that's gonna have to hold off because I do gotta work tonight. It's gonna be a couple days till I'm off work, but it's what it is. And yeah, that's kind of been the last few days. We get to pick up Copper later today, and Kita's excited to have her little brother here. And yeah, I hope everyone has a good week, and I'll catch you all next time.